Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, the beautiful face on your screen is Onotando Luanda Kabela. To my returning subscribers, to the G4s, welcome to another video by the Makabel. As you saw in the title of the video, today I'm going to be giving you guys a story time. The title already says it all. I'm going to try my best to tell you guys the story without any issues, guys. I'm really scared. Remember how I told you guys that there are story times that I need to tell you guys, but I'm just scared of the consequences that come with those story times. This is one of them, and I am so scared, but I want to try my best to be strong and just deliver the content. And before we start the video, I'll just love to say, may God be with me when I drop this, may He protect me. May God protect me, and may He just, yeah guys, I'm functioning with 9 nails now, but it's okay. But before the story time, I just hope He's with me, and anything that happens after, for Him to guide and protect me and put me under His wing, from anything that's gonna happen. And if you see this video, then that's a good thing that I haven't taken it down, or I haven't been forced to remove it. Let's put it like that. But let's get into it. I will just try my best to give you guys the information, and at the same time I don't want to disclose the person's name or whoever they are, just so to avoid any issues. But let's get it. Admitting that you are a victim is probably the most hardest things to do, because you would hear other people's stories and all of that and then think, no, their story is like this, but mine is like this, so mine is not that bad, until you grow up and you actually see, guys, even my heart is beating so fast because I'm so scared. But what I'm saying is, coming into terms that you are a victim is one of the hardest things in this world. But let me not ramble, and let me just get straight into the story. So the first time I actually spoke up about this was when people were sharing their experiences when it comes to being victims and stuff like that in my criminology class. So it wasn't like I wasn't on campus, it was an online class, and I saw that I find it much easier to share my story if I don't see people's facial reactions, if I don't have to hear what they have to say, because that's the scariest thing, not knowing how other people are going to take it, if they are going to just gaslight the whole situation and put it aside. But I found it easier to speak to the camera right now, because I don't have to see or talk or even hear while the comments are going to be there. But I didn't have to see your facial expressions while I'm telling the story, because that's what's going to make me cry, or that's what's going to make me stop, because not everyone will believe your story. So I was young, I was very young, but I was old enough to remember what happened, and it wasn't just one incident. But I feel like this specific person has been such a downfall to my, not a downfall to my life, because I'm continuing with my life properly, but this person has, hate is a big word, but I despise this human being. Why are you crying? It happened so long ago. I hate him. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to tell myself, like, in my head, I'm like, this one is not even that big. Can you relax? Like, how many times have I stopped myself from making this video? But so the trigger wasn't the first thing he did, but the things he continued doing and how everything transpired around me, you know. So at first, I wasn't the only one there. So guys, Menagisonta is Zion, and this is the church that I used to go to. Please highlight that. It's a church that I used to go to. I've been to a number of churches. I don't want you guys to get any idea of what church I'm talking about. Like, cancel the name, cancel, like, don't even think about it. Just listen to the story and hear me out. So, Menagisonta Zion. As Zion, guys, it's a church where we accept everyone and everything. So if you have a spiritual gift, come to Zion and you're gonna be welcome. Even if you believe in anything about no mind, if you come to Zion Church, they'll not discriminate, but they'll wanna make you feel welcomed. You know, they'll make sure. So even if no matter how weird something it is, they'll just accept it like that because they believe that people are different, and like yeah, boy, they just accept like that. So okay, this pastor that I'm talking about, he had a spiritual background, so he knows izinto like that comes with spirits, what herbs to use for this, what and what not. So he was very trusted when it comes to those things by the people who trusted him. I used to dread coming to church even before this whole thing happened. I used to hate church so much. It wasn't a matter of going to praise God that I hated, but it was going to that place. I didn't like going to that place at all. And the thing is, when it comes to black families, like you kind of don't have a choice. Like my mom made it very clear that we're going to church, and in her defense, she didn't know like why. She doesn't know why I don't like going to church, or I didn't like going to church. I didn't like to go to church. She didn't know. She didn't know why I was acting so weird. She thought it's just like people my age. It's what they're doing. Maybe they are speaking about parties instead of going to church. So she was like trying to protect the child. Like, let's go to church. Church is the way. God, yes, you can pray and stuff like that, but you need to go worship with other people. Maybe another person has something or message from God, which is 100% true. I agree with that. So it's yes, going to church. Or if there's a Bible verse that is open and you wanna speak up and like stand up and speak, you have to do it because maybe that message that you have will heal someone's heart. So that's why my mom was like, you have to go to church. Maybe someone has a message for you. Maybe like all of that. So she used to basically like tell me that you have to go to church. Everyone would all go to church. On Sundays, my house will be empty because we all go to church. Only my dad will be left because he had some business things to do. But yeah, so what happened was, as okay, we went to church normally, like we'll always do, and then like it was a normal church day. Then when church ended, people were told to leave, and they said young ladies must stay. So if you're still a virgin, you must stay behind. Okay, they all left. They thought they probably, I think the people who left, they probably think we were gonna get like a pet talk or something like that or whatever, but that wasn't the case. And there were so many of us, and I know I have so many witnesses for this, and I still this day remind my sisters about it. I'm like, remember, but we will laugh it out, and I'll just leave the room before I start even getting emotional. Like I'll remind them the things that used to happen to us. Okay, fine. They were told to leave. We stayed as virgins, as young ladies. And then we were told to take our clothes off. The only people who are allowed to keep their pants or tights on are those who are on their periods. I was young, I hadn't started my period as yet, so it was obvious for me. So I just took off my clothes and I just stayed in my tights. Cause first things first, I was like so confused. Why does this person want to see our bodies? Like everything, guys, bras, everything inside the church. inside the church, we were told to take off every single item of our clothes, and the pastor was there. We were not left with women only. And one thing about all of this is the fact that he was there. Guys, it doesn't end okay. People were told to take off the clothes. People took off the clothes. Whoever who was on their periods didn't. I stayed in my tights. And then he himself questioned me, why am I still in my tights? And I'm like, I just looked at him because I couldn't say I started my periods because they know I haven't. Because as I know, once you start your periods, we are shukule kind. Yabo. And okay, fine. Then okay, they take off our clothes. They tell us to take off our clothes. Sorry, I received the call. So we take off our clothes, and then it tells us to stand in like a circle. So I was told to take off my tights because they know that I'm not on my period. So I was told to take off my tights, and we were all butt naked inside the church where everyone praises God, where everyone thinks like the pastor is the greatest man on planet Earth. We had to take off our clothes. We took them off. We stood in a circle. He stood in the middle of us, so he knew how every single one of us looked. Now I'm just thinking what he did with those images that he had with his head, because obviously like what's more in a bra, so because he stood in the middle of us and like he was looking at all of us, like he was turning around, like looking at all of us, at our bodies. And in my head now that I'm old, at the time I was just so confused, nothing but confusion. I wasn't mad, I wasn't anything, I was just confused. So now thinking about it, it's like, okay, when he saw us the following week, what was he thinking? Was he undressing us with his eyes again or whatever? Okay, fine. And then he does this ritual thing that he tried explaining what he was doing. He came with like a watermelon and stuff and all those things. Like he did so many weird things that I don't want to disclose here because I don't think it's that important. And then he basically did something to the watermelon and then he splashed it and stuff like that. And we were told to get dressed. Now the thing is, before all of that happened, there was a time where like it was just quite, we were all just standing there and we did not know what was happening. And now you're probably asking me, where did the other members of the church go? Now, if you know Zion, it's either you go to Nisondela at someone's house, it's either Usondela at someone's garage, it's either like it's somewhere. I've never seen a Zion church with a hall, like a community hall, and they say so design, like we're not that organized. I don't think it's that organized. It's always someone's house, someone's garage, someone's something, we just wherever you can praise God, just praise God. So they were told to go to the other side of the house, and when we left we were told not to tell anyone. Now that's the thing, like if he was doing a ritual for our benefits and if he was doing something to protect us, why are we not allowed to tell anyone about this? And that's exactly what we did. We did not tell anyone. We probably only started clicking in our heads, like if not 2 or 3 years after, what the fuck was happening there. And thinking about it, it's like, yeah, but and just can you like also highlight the fact that I said Zion, we welcome anyone. So if you wanted to bring a goat and say you want to give it to Abazalwane, they will slaughter it for you, they will speak to your ancestors, what. So any rituals, anything, you are welcome as Zion, they will welcome it. Don't go to a Zion church if you don't believe in ancestors and all those spiritual things. If you don't believe in that, then it's not your place, because you're gonna find so many different types of people there. Now, this story is basically like bringing awareness to not all church. Like if there's a parent that's watching this and you have a child, doesn't matter how old you are, listen to your child. If they say they don't want to go, they just don't want to go to the place. Okay, so that's, we never spoke up about that. I don't think my dad knows the story. If he had to watch this YouTube video, it will be the first time he's ever hearing that something like this happened to me. Now, I thought, okay, this person did this to all of us, so there's no ways that he has that one person in mind. But as time went and days proceed and stuff like that, this person was very much close to my family. So you know how if you going to say something, it's kind of like they're probably not going to believe you. Well, this is probably one of the stories, because what happened after that is they were very close with my family, and like the whole family, in fact, like he was very trusted. So what happened was, this one time I was left in the car with him. When I was left in the car with him, he decided to ask me when I'm going to start having sex. Bear in mind, ever since I was a young child, I've been exposed to umhlanga and all that. So they came into my life when we joined the church. That pastor came into my life knowing exactly that umhlanga, you know. So, okay, fine. He asked me that, and I was like, I'm planning to have when I'm married. I was like a little child. I was like, I'm planning to have that when I am married. And then it's like, are you sure? And stuff like that. And I was so uncomfortable. I was like, why is this person asking me that after what had happened? So he better not be looking at me and being like, damn, I'm gonna like, because there were a number of other things that he had done to my sisters, like asking them out. He is the pastor of the church, my nigga. Just like, sorry for saying that word, but just think about that. He had a thing for younger kids. Basically, he had this thing for younger kids, and it was so disgusting. And so many people can tell you so many stories about that man, and I'm pretty sure that no one is going to speak up because people are so scared. Like me, I'm scared. And the reason why I chose to do a YouTube video about it is because I'm just gonna do the video, edit and upload it, and probably gonna like turn off my phone or whatever it is, and I'm probably gonna get into trouble or whatever, but at least someone is going to see this video, you know. Okay, so he had done that, and then okay, I was so weird. All the way when we were in the car, they were driving home back, like they were driving him back to his house, and my mom was in the garage. Him and I were the only two in the car when he asked me that. And then my parents came back. It was so weird, like you could cut the tension with the knife. So we went and dropped him off. I was just that child that's always around my mom and dad. I'm the last born. I like attention, so I'd always be around my parents. I think at that time I should have just stayed inside the house with my sisters and not went in the car and be like, oh no, hamba no man no baba, anyways, let's just go drop this animal off, you know. And my dad buys me stuff when I'm with him, so that's why I wanted to go with him. Okay, then I come back, guys. I tell my sisters about this immediately. Immediately when I walked out of that car, I went to my sisters. I couldn't tell my parents. I was scared. I couldn't tell anyone, but my sisters that I was comfortable with. I tell them what happened. My sister's like, okay, I tell also some upumla. Like I have a sister called Upumla. I tell her, I'm like, okay, so this and this happened. This person asked me in the car, and they're like, what the fuck? And what triggered them the most, made them mad, is because he was also saying things to them. You know, now usiza wengane. What, I'm the like youngest out of all my siblings, and at that time it was really inappropriate. If he had to ask me that now, I'd like, it's understandable. I'm older. I know. I hadn't even done the subject about sex at school. My parents have never spoken to that about me. And then he took that in his hand to ask me such an uncomfortable question. Okay, my sisters were mad and stuff like that. Also, some guys. I don't know how to translate that. Basically, they started speaking. So they tell my dad what happened. That my one of my sister, not Upumla, another one that did not know the story, because I only told Upumla because I was comfortable with, and then she told my other two sisters. Guys, the next morning, my sister, okay, they speak up. They're like, okay, this person did A, B, and C, and he was speaking to the child in this manner. We do not appreciate that, and then they basically brought it to my dad's attention. My dad was taken back a little, but nothing happened to the guy. He still continued coming to the house. He still very much was invested in our lives, basically. And I don't think my parents understand that after what happened at church and this happening, my little mind was very confused. And what I didn't understand is why they didn't immediately shut that person out of our lives, you know. My dad knows the question thing, but he does not know what happened at church. if he hears this, it's gonna be the first time he's hearing it. So maybe that's why he didn't like cut out. He thought, or maybe he lied to them and he was like, no, he was just giving me advice as a pastor. It's his duty maybe to advise his kids or whatever. I don't know what lie he fed my parents, but he was still very much in our lives at that time. Days okay, time will come past. So now he knows that I had told someone, I spoken up, and he was acting very weird towards me, especially at church. Like, my parents are people who are very giving. So our cars, my dad's cars, will be the cars that work to like pick people up, whoever wants to go to church. I live at Dot, but my dad would put petrol in his cars, in fact, his two bakkies, to go fetch people from Mgababa, fetch people in Love, at times and stuff like that, so that we could all go to church, because my mom, like, it's just a church person. Whatever my mom says happens. So the pastor used to drive one of my dad's cars because my mom would drive one and he would drive the other. Now the thing is, oh my god, and I'm just giving it away, but you know what, fuck it. Now the thing is, my dad never used to go to church, so obviously we needed a second person to drive the other car so everyone can fit, because not everyone will fit in one car. And I remember him not wanting me to get in the car that he is driving, but it's my fucking dad's car. And he was like, no, get super and stuff like that, what. And my mom was just like, get in the car. And I got in the car because what the fuck, it's my dad's car. I got in the car. I think my mom kind of sassed him out that is only doing that because I've spoken up and now I will left him in a weird situation. But I ended up getting in the car because it's my dad's car. I got in the car and it was so hot in the car. I remember I wanted to open the air conditioner and he was just being so weird. Like, no, like, how can you tell me what to fucking do in my dad's car? Like, he was being weird and my sisters could see it and they would look at me and be like, when they like, all of that, because I was young, bro. I was like the youngest, so they were obviously protective of me. Fine. Our life continues and all of that. I didn't want to communicate with that person. I basically started like pushing him away. Like, even though he would come to my house, I wouldn't go to I don't greet him. I don't do none of that shit. Like, it's just, yeah, boom. After that, time had passed, like probably months and months, and like, you kind of just, I don't even want to think about this. I don't want to speak to this man or anything like that. There was a time when, when you get in the car, when you get in the car, you want to hold your skirt and get in the car properly. And he had the audacity to say, why are you holding your skirt? It's not like we're going to see things you haven't seen before. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I told my oldest sister, like, the one thing I like about this is that I have spoken to my siblings about a number of things. He did not only say that to me, but he had also things to say about my niece. I need to know I'm the youngest. Whoever's after me are my nieces and nephews. So I was just something to my niece, and it was like getting too much. Now, the one thing that you guys don't understand is the matter of, I told you guys this person has a spiritual background, so I don't know what he was using on my parents for him to not for him to not be detached with the family, for him to continue, because it actually benefited him being like in our lives, but like, buffet too, when you're looking at the whole process, there are other women who have stories about this, where he's asked them, where he's touched them in a way that we're not supposed to, but they just tell you, like, they only start speaking up once they hear you say something about it, or if you tell someone, like, I know I've spoken to one male members of that church that I used to go to. I spoke to one person and they're like, there's so many other young girls that have told me similar stories to yours. And I thank God that it didn't go like further. He did not touch me. Thank God he did not touch me. He has never touched me. Can we put that out there? Thank God he has never touched me, but I'm pretty sure he has touched another child that is probably scared to speak up. I was getting so emotional because I was so scared, because my story has been gaslight for like it has been gaslighted for so long, you know. I don't know why, like, no action has been taken. I don't know, maybe I just don't know, because it's not like it's my first time speaking up on this video, but it's being gaslighted so many times made me stop speaking about it, you know, because I'm a person who, even when I'm dating someone, I make sure they just understand that my virginity is the most precious thing to me. None of that's gonna happen. So even taking my clothes off in front of a guy is a huge thing to me. And that man, like the thing, guys, there's so many things he said, he's done. His eyes, like, will look at you in a certain way. Like my best friend sometimes will tell me that I must carry a knife around. I'm like, I'm not that person, because even if you can say you're protecting yourself, you always have you gotta look to a bullet, because he had tendencies of following me around, you know. He used to follow me around, like, so many weird things. Like, I remember the other time, um my cousin was is a male. No, it was my brother. My brother was bathing, and um he didn't lock the door, but I had, and the pastor was at my house at the time, and my parents were not there. That's how close he was with my family, that they trusted him to be in my home without them around. Now, a person with that amount of trust, it's so obvious that even if you had to speak out about something, they'll have that. Now what do we do? How do we? I don't know what their reasons. Like, I want to know why nothing was done when he had said that to me, when he had asked me at a young age. I want to know why certain things were swept under the mat. I've all, but going back to the bottom story, so I had told, he was in the house, and I told my sisters that there's someone in the bathroom. I didn't say who. There's someone in the bathroom, so you guys mustn't open. He decided to get up and go open in the bathroom. I don't know if he was hoping it's a woman, and then my brother's like, "What the fuck, bro? Get out!" And I was like, "Just imagine if it was," because I think he thought we were warning people about going in the bathroom is because it's a woman, and he was there, you know. So I thought he was going in there hoping it's one of my sisters or whatever. And then what he heard me properly saying that there's someone in the bathroom, because one of the people he was traveling with wanted to go to the bathroom. It's like, no, someone is in there and they're bathing. And you're like, oh, okay. This, yeah, but you can use other bathrooms if you don't mind. But you know, he's gonna wait. But he decided to go and open. And luckily it wasn't a female or anything like that, because I'm pretty sure he would have acted like, oh, I'm so sorry, or something like that. But that man has just things for young kids. And I've seen like younger girls than me that are younger than me. I'm 19 years old, so just imagine 17, and this person is old enough like to be my father, you know. But just to continue with the story, yeah, there's so many young girls that I see now. They just think he's a good person, but he's not, you know. Like, he thinks he's a cool, like, he used to be that cool guy that will put his arm around you and laugh and all that, until you see you go to, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? But all I want to say, Guti, I just hope God gives me the strength to upload this video and for you guys to see it. I hope that whoever needs to hear this and whoever wants to speak up about anything, doesn't even have to be a story that relates to this one. It could be anything, basically. So guys, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and don't you ever let anyone silence you.